The man lying in the cardboard box behind her building was dying. Or that's what Emma thought when she saw the blood on his temple and his lips turning blue in the November cold. Emma Carter's hands trembled as she clocked out of her second shift at Rosie's diner, her feet aching in worn sneakers that should have been replaced months ago. It was 11 p.m., and she had exactly $43 to last until Friday. Enough for Lily's school lunch money, the electric bill, and maybe a box of mac and cheese. She took the alley shortcut home, the one she'd walked 1,000 times, when she saw him. A man, maybe mid-30s, collapsed against the dumpster. His clothes were torn, his dark hair matted with dirt and blood. But it was his eyes, when they flickered open, that stopped her cold. They were clear, intelligent, and completely resigned to dying alone. Hey, can you hear me? Emma knelt beside him, her nurse instincts from a lifetime ago kicking in. He coughed. Leave me. Not worth it. Let me decide that. She pressed her scarf against the wound on his head. Can you stand? 20 minutes later, Emma half-carried the stranger up 3 flights of stairs to her cramped studio apartment. Lily was at her grandmother's for the night. Thank God, because this was insane. Bringing a homeless man into her home. But something in his eyes haunted her. She cleaned his wounds in silence. The gash on his temple wasn't deep, but he was malnourished, dehydrated, hypothermic. What's your name? She asked, wrapping a blanket around his shoulders. He hesitated. James. Call me James. I'm Emma. She handed him instant ramen, the only food she had. Eat slowly. He stared at the cheap styrofoam cup like it was a 5-star meal. Why are you helping me? Emma thought of Lily, of the times they'd been one missed paycheck away from being the ones on the street. Because someone should. If you believe no one should have to die alone in an alley, hit that subscribe button, because the people who walked past him that night didn't stop. Show you're different. Over the next 2 weeks, James became part of Emma's life. He slept on her couch, insisted on helping despite his injuries. He fixed her broken cabinet, organized her bills, even made Lily laugh with terrible knock-knock jokes. But Emma noticed things. The way he held a coffee cup, like he was used to fine china. His vocabulary. The expensive watch he tried to hide under his sleeve before selling it for grocery money he left on her counter. You're not just homeless, are you? She asked one night after Lily fell asleep. James stared out the window at the city lights. I was someone else before. Before what? Before I learned that everyone I trusted wanted to destroy me. Adrian Hawthorne, his real name, had been worth $4.3 billion. Tech genius, self-made empire, until his business partner, Marcus Reed, and his fiancée, Claire, orchestrated the perfect betrayal. Falsified documents, embezzlement charges, frozen assets. The case would take months to unravel, and Adrian's legal team advised him to disappear while they worked. So he did. He walked away from penthouses and private jets to test a theory. Would anyone help him when he had nothing? 47 people passed him that night in the alley. He was the 48th. He told her everything one rainy afternoon while Lily was at school. Emma listened, her hands wrapped around a chipped mug, processing. So, you're a billionaire? Was. Maybe again, if my lawyers come through. Adrian's voice was hollow. Does it change anything? Emma looked around her threadbare apartment, at the life she'd built from nothing after Lily's father abandoned them. You lied to me. I needed to know if kindness still existed. He met her eyes. You proved it does. Adrian stayed. Even as his lawyers called with updates, even as his assets slowly unfroze, he stayed in Emma's world. He walked Lily to school, worked construction jobs for cash, kissed Emma for the first time in the laundromat while folding towels. And it felt more real than anything in his previous life. But reality was coming. Marcus Reed was panicking. Adrian's legal team was closing in, and if Adrian testified, Marcus faced 20 years. He hired a private investigator. 3 weeks later, a black SUV appeared outside Emma's building. Emma came home to find her apartment ransacked. Lily was safe at school, but the message was clear. They knew where Adrian was. The note on her counter read, "Tell Adrian to drop the charges, or everyone he cares about pays." Adrian's face went white. "I have to leave tonight." "No," Emma's voice shook. "We call the police." "The police can't stop Marcus. He has connections, money, lawyers who make evidence disappear." Adrian grabbed his jacket. "If I stay, Lily's in danger. You're in danger." "So you just run again?" "I run so you can live." His voice cracked. "Emma, He stopped. "You gave me something I thought was gone forever. Don't ask me to risk it." But Emma wasn't raised to run. She'd fought for every good thing in her life, fought through poverty, through single motherhood, through crushing loneliness. She wasn't about to let some entitled criminal decide her fate. She made a call to Adrian's lawyer, then to a journalist friend from her old life, then to the FBI field office downtown. "What are you doing?" Adrian asked, watching her move with terrifying purpose. "Fighting back." Emma's eyes blazed. "You said 47 people walked past you. I didn't, and I'm not walking past this." Within 48 hours, Emma had given testimony. The FBI raided Marcus's office. The evidence Adrian's lawyers gathered, combined with Emma's documentation of the threats, was airtight. But Marcus made one final move. He went after Lily's school. Not physically, he was too smart for that. He filed a lawsuit, claiming Emma was an unfit mother, harboring a fugitive, exposing her child to danger. He had photos of Adrian at the apartment, medical records from his emergency room visit, a narrative designed to rip Lily away. Emma collapsed in Adrian's arms. "I can't lose her. She's everything." "You won't." Adrian's voice was steel. "I promise you won't." He made one phone call to the one person he'd sworn never to speak to again, his mother, Victoria Hawthorne, the most powerful family law attorney in the state. "I need you to destroy someone, and then I need you to protect someone who deserves it more than I ever did. If you believe people like Marcus, who use money to hurt innocent families, deserve to lose everything, drop a like right now. Justice doesn't work unless we demand it." The courtroom was cold. Emma sat beside a lawyer she couldn't afford, watching Marcus's legal team smugly arrange their files. Lily was with Emma's mother, unaware her entire world hung in the balance. Then Victoria Hawthorne entered, tailored suit, silver hair, the kind of presence that made judges sit straighter. She eviscerated Marcus's case in 40 minutes, exposed his criminal charges, revealed his history of intimidation, submitted character witnesses Emma didn't even know existed. Neighbors, teachers, Lily's pediatrician, all testifying to Emma's devotion. When it was over, the judge didn't just dismiss Marcus's lawsuit, he recommended the DA investigate him for harassment and witness intimidation. Marcus left in handcuffs. Adrian left with Emma's hand in his. 3 months later, Adrian's empire was restored. Marcus was awaiting trial. Claire had turned state witness to avoid prison. Adrian stood in Emma's apartment, the same tiny space where she'd saved his life, and made an offer. Come with me, you and Lily. Not to my penthouse or my estate, somewhere new, somewhere we build together. He knelt down, eye level with her. I'm not offering you my money, Emma. I'm offering you my life, the real one, the one you taught me was possible. Emma looked around her apartment, at the evidence of every sacrifice, every late night, every moment she chose survival over surrender. I don't need rescuing, Adrian. I know. His smile was soft. That's why I'm asking you to be my equal, my partner, my... A knock at the door interrupted him. Emma opened it to find a woman in her 60s, elegantly dressed, with Adrian's same dark eyes. Mom? Adrian stood, confused. What are you doing here? Victoria Hawthorne's expression was unreadable. She looked at Emma, then at Adrian, then back at Emma. I came to tell you the truth about your daughter's father, before you make any decisions about Adrian. Emma's blood went cold. What about him? His name was Daniel Hawthorne, Adrian's older brother. He died 6 years ago. And Lily... The room tilted. Adrian's face drained of color. Emma's mind raced through impossible calculations, dates, names, Lily's dark hair and intelligent eyes that she'd always thought came from her father's side. No, Emma whispered. I have the DNA test, Victoria said, pulling an envelope from her purse. I ran it when I told you, about Lily. I had to know. She looked at her son. Adrian, Lily is your niece, your brother's daughter, which means... But Emma was already stepping back, her hand over her mouth, tears streaming down her face. Because if Lily was Adrian's niece, then everything about their story had just changed. Adrian reached for her. Emma, we'll figure this out. Get out. Her voice broke. Just get out. The door closed. Emma slid down the wall, sobbing as one question consumed her. Was Adrian's kindness real, or had he known the truth all along? If you need to know whether Adrian knew the truth, comment part 2 right now, because the people who betray trust don't deserve to keep their secrets. Subscribe so you don't miss what happens when Emma discovers the real reason Adrian stayed